Hey everyone, it's Robin again from the Good Place Bench as part of the International Conference of Urban Health. We're landed at day 2 and I'm joined here by Maryam. Thanks for also signing up to be part of this bench and having a conversation, of course, about urban health and about your work. Tell us a bit more who you are so people get to know you a bit and share what your work is all about.
Hi, hello everyone. Thank you for this opportunity.
Welcome.
I'm Maryam Naghibi, a landscape architect and also researcher from TU Delft. Originally, I'm from Iran. I had my PhD on leftover spaces and resiliency, and currently I'm working on delta cities, spine cities, people perception and preferences.
That's quite a quite a description. And you've also been here just also for the conference, but also to work on your further research, right? We talked about leftover spaces. Could you tell us a bit more about what that exactly is?
Yeah, that's a good question because leftover spaces has different meanings in different parts of the world. When I started my PhD in Iran, actually it was during the COVID, so I had nothing to do but interviewing experts from different parts of the world. So I had different perspective. Actually, top down. It was a top down approach. But after the lockdown, I started talking to people and see how different people think about this kind of space. Sometimes people talk about the functionality of this space, about the maintenance, about the size. And then actually my journey ended me up in the Netherlands. I continue working on these spaces and I found different perspective from Dutch organization and how people think in another context about these spaces. And then I was
Leftover space is a space that is not used.
yeah, maybe most of the definition are about the functionality and use of these spaces. Also, there are other characteristics like the shape, the type of space, the maintenance, the ownership. These also take roles in defining a space as a leftover or not. But when I came here to Morocco and I started interviewing local people, I found a completely different perspective about these spaces, which amazed me. And people focus on other aspects like ownership and like earthquake that makes some spaces actually a bare ground, not leftover for a while. But they had a future perspective about this space, and they didn't consider many of these spaces leftovers.
More as in useful for them.
Even if they use it for trash,
Yeah.
they said that it's not leftover because we
Yeah,
put our
exactly.
trash there. It's not
Yeah.
leftover. It has a function.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Interesting. And of course you speak the language.
I could not
No?
speak the
Okay.
language. That's why I had this limitation. I could not approach to many people, just the ones who could speak English. I used some tools to translate
Okay.
at the same time.
Good. And how is leftover space related to urban health, you think?
Yeah. Actually, within our spaces, in some cities, we have this densify context. We have less opportunities for new implementation. Leftover spaces can be an opportunities in densify cities, but also in other I think societies to be as maybe a laboratory to test how future design can be implemented or can be applied in the neighborhood. And when we have limited budget, limited lands, these spaces, sometimes they are super small with a neighborhood, but
Are
they,
there examples?
yeah, like some pocket parks
Okay. Yeah.
or some marginal spaces in front of the houses,
Yeah.
or sometimes you have a block
So the
between
solution
two.
would be more greenery, for example.
Sometimes it can be greenery. Yeah, sometimes I also work on water-related designs, blue actually strategies for urban health. And within this conference, we had a workshop, and the workshop was about the spine cities strategy and how they can improve city for elderly well-being.
Yeah.
So we ask participants to think about this strategy to see how they can align with elderly needs. Um, yeah, but I don't mean these spaces should be a perfect space. Also,
No,
I
no.
think that imperfection
Yeah, yeah,
would
yeah.
be the opportunity, would be the character of these spaces.
Well, and I think also what you see here is that these space people decide themselves what to do with this, with that kind of space as well. All right,
Yeah.
it's not always top down thought of, but it's more like, okay, maybe leave it up to the citizen, and then it becomes like a trash corner, or it becomes something, a bike parking spot, or I don't know, like. Of course, in the country that we live in, everything is quite arranged and thought of, right?
Yeah.
Bike, where to park your bike, and so on. But I also feel that it's more left open, more and more.
Yeah, exactly, and maybe less for serendipity concept. I think the ability to discover accidentally things in a city,
Yeah.
which is so interesting.
So do you also, I mean, ideas, research, are you also working on the implementation, intervention kind of side as well, a lot?
Yeah, actually, I usually work with different design scenarios to see how research can really use in design, and how design can be make change for the environment, and then how people perceive this design, how they feel about this design,
Yeah.
and then there is a loop again, because we can post-evaluate these scenarios, and then we can do the research, and again we can redesign these scenarios.
Do you have something physical?
Not physical, no, not physical for open spaces yet. Yeah.
Just to test it?
Just tested, yeah.
And tell us a bit more about your role here at the conference. Like, what are you hoping to find or learn, or yeah, I mean, are you here to share, or also are you here also to take?
I think both, especially with a workshop that I had yesterday. I learned from other experts here, and also I tried to share my knowledge about leftover spaces and spine cities, but I also learned from people that how we can, if first of all, if we can use these types of theories from the Western lens in African context, and if yes, how we can make change, and how should we maybe take steps for future. And I ask people also to express their emotion about these spaces and about the design tools that I gave to them. I try to teach them by different cards, and then I ask how it was enough for African context. Yeah.
Is that your personal? Would you say that's your personal mission to take learnings from the Western countries to the African continent
Um,
or Northern African continent?
Yeah, because of different.
Or the other way around?
Yeah, actually, for me, I think that we always have this misunderstanding of using one theory, some kind of theory, in another context without knowing the context or without knowing if this theory can be applied in another one or not. So we are I think sometimes we are just implement one theory. So I didn't want to do like that because within this actually workshop, I focus on smart cities. It came from China. Now we are using it in Europe, but we are also study about the context and see other types of theory, water-related theories and strategy that if we can combine with like nature-based solution or other water-related strategies for Europe. And now I'm also considering it for African context, yeah, because the social demographic, the culture, everything is different.
Interesting.
You know.
Maryam, of course you're on a good place bench. That means you also have to answer the question, what does a good place mean to you? Could be personally, but also more from like a vision point of view. What do we all need to do to make our places a good place?
Yeah, difficult question.
Not backed up by research.
Yeah. I think, yeah, the good place is a place to have this opportunity for more serendipity in a city, I think.
Serendipity. Okay. Nice. And what does that mean?
It means that, have you ever been the Serendipity cartoon? It was a pink, nice dragon that want to protect a land. And with her friend, they're trying to protect people, inhabitants of the land from threat. Yeah, I think, and within the journey, they accidentally had some great. Actually, something happened to them that was by accident. They didn't had planned for it, and I think this surprise in a city make it more. How can I say it, interesting for people to feel the city, to maybe meet more diverse people. And then, of course, sometimes conflicts happen, but in that time you can study that conflicts and move forward and have new ideas for the cities.
All right. And what does that mean to you?
I think to have more adventure in the city and really live actually your life in the city.
By happy accidents.
By happy accidents, yeah.
Great. Thank you so much for your time and sharing your work. And good luck in this conference. And I would love to get a tour around leftover spaces in Delft. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yes?
Of course, thanks for your time.
You're very welcome. And everyone watching, until the next one. Bye-bye.